Generations. Much can be learned from past generations. For past generations write history. They become history. The past may have already been written, but the future awaits a new generation.
Oh my God! It's SmackDown versus Raw! Sports entertainment will never be the same!
For a first in the SmackDown vs. Raw series, you'd expect it to be a different game from the previous games. I mean, it's SmackDown vs. Raw, not SmackDown. So what does this game do to stand out of the crowd?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Yep, it's just Here Comes the Pain with a different name.
It's this bad.
With less content, little to nothing added, and the same terrible combat system as Here Comes the Pain. Man, for the first in SVR, it sure wants to be the worst. Oh well, let's just get this thing over with so we can move on already to better games. Hopefully. The terrible Create a Superstar system from Here Comes the Pain is back in all its dookie-coated glory, as it's still nigh impossible to make anyone in real life or even cartoon/anime or video game. It's a system that doesn't allow for much in the way of sculpting the body nor face, as everyone will look the same no matter what. They have the same proportions and faces. Yep, same face syndrome. The sign of a bad character creator. Never had this issue with later SmackDown vs. Raw games. This is just Here Comes the Pain problem.
Nice fucking model!
I was barely able to make anything that could even be considered a Timu knockoff Charlie, Muta, and Zack. It was so bad I decided I wasn't going to create pretty much anyone else just so I don't have to deal with this shit system anymore. Dear God. What a stupid design choice by going with the worst creator since SmackDown 1 on the PlayStation 1.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
You can still make stables. But they decided to get rid of the unique names for entrances. Now everything is generic, so good luck figuring out which is which. They knew they screwed up too, as now you can preview the entrances, which is 15 seconds long loading screen in between each one. So you want to know what generic team entrance 1 is? 15 seconds, here it is. You don't like it? Okay, quit. 15 seconds, okay, now you're back at the stable creator. Now choose generic tag team entrance 2. 15 seconds, oh, it's not the one you want? Okay, go ahead and exit. 15 seconds, okay, now you're back at create a stable. You starting to see the problem here?
Absolutely. Yep.
This is terrible, but go ahead, play it yourself to understand what I mean.
No thanks.
You still have create a moveset to assign moves and full-on presets onto whoever you want, but with such a lackluster roster, I had to make changes to everyone's original template. Charlie is still HBK, cause of course he is, he's Moisty Boy. Muta had to be made into Kane without Mark Henry around. Derp was just random. Queso lost the Rock, so he was also changed to something random. And Zack, of course. You gotta keep Zack as Scotty Too Hottie.
Boingy, 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 boingy.
Still can't make entrances, however, so that sucks. But whatever, we need to talk about the roster. Just look at it for a few seconds. Cricket, 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 cricket.
What the f*** is this?
My thoughts exactly. As this is one of the worst rosters so far, if not the worst. As even Here Comes the Pain had more to offer. Just wow. Did they cut corners to get this game out in less than 1 year? We really have no one here that's recognizable basically. Who the fuck is A-Train? Chuck Palumbo? Garrison Cade? Shelton Ben Amin, Charlie Haas, Mark Jindrak, Rene Dupree, and Rico.
Oh my god. What the who the fuck was this for? They forgot, maybe it's undecided because the developers haven't figured it out.
Replace these guys with Hulk Hogan, Jeff Hardy, Mark Henry, Randy Savage, and more instead. Then we'll be talking, but good God, just a mediocre roster all around. Barely anyone from the past few games is here. Was SmackDown and Raw just in a dark place during the 2003-2004 era? This is some of the worst wrestler selections I've ever seen in any WWE game.
Amen.
Oh God, no. Oh, fucking hell. It's still the same exact layout as Here Comes the Pain, so go figure. Though, I still hate the layout and mechanics of Here Comes the Pain, so not surprisingly, I didn't have any fun playing this reskin of Here Comes the Pain. Seriously, how is this SmackDown vs. Raw? This isn't SVR, this is dog shit. Still featuring the same terrible combat system with the same terrible reversal system that's broken and never works right. Combat is still 100% the same as Here Comes the Pain, so of fucking course everything is clunky and boring. Nothing works right. And I just cannot be bothered to get into it. It's boring, frustrating, and god-awful. I just want to go back to Shut Your Mouth instead. A way better game.
Hear, hear.
Trying to push people out of the ring during Royal Rumble doesn't work that well. Neither does the ring out meter on you.
Hey, who can blame it? The superstars are in the ring, and the match is about to start.
As now in Royal Rumble, you have a meter that permanently degrades over time. Someone tries to force you out of the ring. Yet it doesn't really work right either, as I try to fight back and still got eliminated faster than the French did during World War II. Reversals are still impossible to really pull off. As I spam the buttons, I still get slammed and thrown around the ring like a white girl in an NBA locker room. It's just a terrible system that replaced a much better one from Shut Your Mouth. Dear God, what a waste.
We'll be staying with this match to the end with no commercial interruptions.
Head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, available at Walgreens.
Randomly, every time you play a match, a random set of QuickTime events may occur, throwing you off, and if you don't nail them exactly as displayed as quickly as inhumanely possible, you will lose and the opponent will get an edge over you throughout the whole goddamn match.
Why?
These will occur during the beginning of matches at random, so it's not always a guarantee, but also they will randomly occur during matches. So if you're winning the game and the game decides to throw in a random QTE to throw you off and let the AI win instead.
Gay!
Yep, it's truly annoying and has no reason to exist. It's just a tacked on feature to give Here Comes the Pain 2.0 some sort of value as to why it's being sold for $60 back in the day.
Just fucking, you know?
For some reason, they thought that jumping from the top ropes needed to be slowed down so much that by the time you almost jump, your opponent will get up there from your finisher to unleash on that you unleashed onto them to only hit you off of the top of the rope. Yay!
Rope break. The endurance of these men is almost superhuman. If one of these guys builds momentum, this match is over.
They also removed victory sings for every match type outside of Royal Rumble, and it's pretty dog shit. Yeah, go figure. Here Comes the Pain didn't even have commentary at all, but thankfully that was fixed with this game. But to remove the satisfaction outro to a match, that's just stupid.
These guys are gonna tear each other apart.
Boingy 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 boingy. Boingy 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 boingy. Boingy 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 boingy.
That's it?
Under Shop Zone, you can see challenges where if you complete certain actions in single player matches, you can earn money. These, however, never unlocked for me, no matter what I tried, so go figure. Whatever, we're moving on. This game is giving me an aneurysm.
Ah, broke a damn blood vessel!
So I decided to look into PPV mode. Here we can make our very own championship belts. But it costs a truckload of money and it's nothing special. Oh well, it was a neat idea on paper, but the fact it costs money to even do is stupid. Don't hinder our creativity any more than you already do with such a lackluster restrictive superstar creator.
Based.
So outside of that disappointment, what about pay-per-view mode itself? We can make our very own PPVs. Except all it is watching a cutscene of your selected wrestlers, an intro, silent commentary.
Turn it up! Turn it up!
Then you can play, watch, or skip each of the 3 mandatory matches you had to set up with no real customization. And that's it. That's PPV mode in a nutshell. Yeah.
Ah, you know what? This sucks!
Oh god. On to the other section where we will start out with how grueling this game's load times are. Just how the fuck did anyone put up with this shit back in the day? Let alone even now. This is just horrendous. You got 25 to 52 second long loading screens, give or take, depending on the match type, the amount of wrestlers, which wrestlers are you using, such as created or unique, and the arena, among other things. It's just a slog that holds SVR back from any attempts at being fun. But then again, it's just Here Comes the Pain 2.0, so what else is new? Well, what's actually new to this game? Outside of the QuickTime events, nothing really was added. Just a lot of stuff was removed.
Wait, what?
So, if they didn't really add anything, what did they end up removing? Well, besides the fact that the roster was gutted severely, we also lost backstage brawls.
Shit the fuck!
Yeah, so now we cannot run backstage and duke it out across the entire arena and the streets like in Shut Your Mouth. Yet another example of a downgrade. This game just keeps getting worse and worse.
Can't I just have a break? Can't I just have one break?
But if you can earn WWE cash in season mode to complete challenges, you can then use it to unlock new stuff.
Yay!
Where you can buy mostly experience points for your created superstar.
Gay, totally gay.
Then you can unlock legends like Brutus Beefcake.
Who's that?
Then you can unlock a few new wrestling rings from pay-per-view mode. But finally, you can unlock sexy loading screens.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, best king, best king.
Or get the divas on the main menu wearing skimpy outfits.
I mean, you only see one hand. You don't see both hands.
Overall, SmackDown vs. Raw is it's such a massive disappointment. It's literally Here Comes the Pain renamed, with no real improvements and less content and features. I hated Here Comes the Pain, but this is just a million times worse. As such, I'm not looking forward to SVR 2006. I mean, if this game is so bad and the foundation for what SmackDown vs. Raw series is to be, God only knows how much worse things can get. At the end of the day, SmackDown vs. Raw is just a terrible, more lackluster, butchered version of Here Comes the Pain. There's nothing here that screams SVR. It's barely even worth playing.
Do I look like a happy camper to you?
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
Didn't think so.
Honestly, I just hope that nostalgia isn't blinding me with SVR 07 and SVR 10 down the line. But first, we'll eventually have to look at SVR 06. I'll tackle them in order for a more fair comparison to improvements and downgrades. So whenever I can get to it, I will. Whenever I feel like dealing with it. Ugh. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
And yeah, that's really about it. See ya.
After the disappointment of SmackDown vs. Raw, I had little hopes for SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, which turned out to be a good thing because this game is literally the same thing as last year's installment, but with some slight improvements, roster changes, new match types, and new game modes.
Come on, Taz. I think she's got a little chill, Cole. You know what? Maybe I should go help her warm up.
SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 is considered the best one and is the best selling of all SVR entries. Yet, I cannot see what they mean. But then again, I'm also not part of the hive mind, so I see things differently than the sheep who follow the herd. But enough of an introduction. Let's just get this one over with and move on to hopefully even better wrestling games to come.
Uh-oh, this isn't gonna be pretty.
Create a Superstar is slightly better than last time, yet still lacks in sculpting the body and faces. You still can't really make anyone look like their real selves, no matter how hard you try to make it work. But I still was able to make something that could pass off as Charlie, Muda, Zack, Angry Joe, Queso, JD Delay, and yes, even Jay Schlatt joined in on the fun. As we all know, he loves man-on-man action. I wasn't able to give everyone their proper clothing, such as Angry Joe didn't get his jacket with white stripes on the sleeves or the Superman t-shirt right, so I just tossed a red S on there to help, Tattoos are easier to deal with than ever, so I gave a bunch of random stuff on JD. Queso couldn't have a hoodie, so I gave him a jacket. And finally, Schlatt's facial hair is such a pain in the arse to get right. Yet I feel like it's a decent enough creation that you can tell who it is.
That match had so much potential. I hate to see it end like that. Me too. I don't even know who came out ahead in it. I don't think anyone did, King. I think everyone lost in that one, including the WWE fans.
The UI isn't that much of a pain to deal with this time, and the load times for items isn't as dreadful, but still will take a while to get through it finding what you need, since the game has to load every other second you scroll through the list of clothing. Honestly, it's decent, but I really hate the sculpting of bodies and faces still. It's not quite there yet to get anything decent out of it, and you will have same face syndrome still. Plus, colors are a pain to nail. As I try to give people brown eyes, they just get dark yellow. You can never really nail the right degree of color in this game. Why not just have presets as an option at that point?
Makes sense.
As for create a moveset, it remains unchanged. You still can assign everything. But of course, all I do is copy unique superstar movesets over since everyone is always based on them. Charlie is Shawn Michaels, Muta is still Kane because we don't have Mark Henry back. Queso had to become the Big Show without The Rock. Zack was Scotty 2 Hotty. Joe was Hulk Hogan without Bret Hart. And Derp became Rey Mysterio. I can't remember everyone else. And yes, I did bring back Derp because Derp is love, Derp is life, the man, the myth, the legend.
There was a lot of ways I thought this one could and would go, but I never thought they would this.
Neither did I, partner. Talk about a disappointment.
Well, if they're smart, they'll set up a rematch ASAP. I'm telling you right now, or they're going to have some unhappy fans on their hands.
Create a Stable is back with even less options than ever for entrances. There's nothing special here, you can still have your usual options, just less entrances, and they're the worst ones imaginable. Who the fuck is Low Resistance? The Bushwhackers, the Basham Brothers, or even Team Angle?
What the hell is even that?
Where's Degeneration X? Where's the Hardy Brothers? The classic original entrances like Jackass and Ballet. This game is just lacking in entrances in general for both single, duo, and trio. Plus the long load times to see what each individual generic entrance is. Dear God, just stop at this point and rethink, Yukes. What are you trying to even do?
Nag.
Sadly, Create a Championship is back. Lame, still hate it. There's even less customization this time, and it's still too expensive and pointless to make belts. So why didn't they just scrap this mode to make more space for better stuff, like more entrances or wrestlers? That would have been a better use of resources than bringing this thing back.
It just makes no sense.
We can finally make entrances.
It's a miracle!
Except the mode fucking sucks. Instead of what later games had, we only got a 2D menu to select stuff. Even when we enter advanced mode, it's still the same exact thing. Plus, what options you even have is so minimal. It turns out this was criticized back in the day, and for once, I'll agree with IGN.
Jesus Christ!
This mode is just lackluster and not really worth your time, as it wasn't mine, except this is where you assign entrances, so be sure to use basic mode to give your cause something different. In advanced mode, all I got was more loading screens to deal with, another 2D menu, and to only be able to place your nameplate, the camera angle, the screen effect, and there's just nothing really to play with here. Here's what I could make, and you can see just how worthless this feature is in this game.
I got enough time for one round. Told you I had a six-pack, nerds.
God damn it, that's a big fat ass!
Get him out of here!
Well, that was a load of shit.
I hated the roster last time, but this game is even somehow worse. Who are all these generic white guys that no one but the most diehard fanboys of WWE would remember? No, seriously, who are most of these people? I barely recognize a single person. It's like whenever I try to get into WWE these days, it's all just a bunch of nobodies trying to copy the legends that came before them.
You ain't lying.
This is easily the worst roster to date. Even the Legends selection isn't that good. Having to complete certain goals just to unlock most of them sucks as well. Just give me everything at the start of the game. I'd love to pit Stone Cold and The Rock against Andre Giant and Bret Hart. Fuck yeah. Yeah! But no, I gotta grind forever to get them through Season Mode and GM Mode. Lame. Overall, a pretty bad roster, and I never use any of them basically in game. Solely relying on my created superstars instead for everything. Talk about a trash experience, if that's how you have to play a WWE game.
True.
Here comes the pain, refuses to die, much like US Congress. As we're still dealing with the same combat system that still sucks, as here comes the pain. I hate it. And I want it gone. It's clunky, unintuitive, and broken. Half of the time reversals never work. It's the reversal system itself that will always cost you everything during gameplay.
It's matches like this that make this the greatest job in the world, JR. Absolutely.
L2 or R2, whichever the game decides at the last second for you to press to reverse a grapple or attack, except it never works whenever I press it 90% of the time.
We could have a pinfall here, JR.
There's no way that was going to be a 3 count.
The controls are extremely clunky. As to Irish Whip, you need to press and hold triangle plus circle, and then press a directional button to throw them in that direction. This just sucks and leads to so many mishaps that can cost you everything. To make matters more interesting / frustrating is the stamina system they introduced. Now you can only do one action before your wrestler drops like a 97-year-old chain smoker.
Right, and I can't wait. And neither can these fans. We better get started, or we might have a riot on our hands.
To recover, you have to be standing still, then press and hold select. This leaves you vulnerable to attacks, so you gotta find a way to recover enough to put your opponent down to only go back to recovering. This slows down the combat too much for my liking. I hate simulation-based fighting. Give me the fast-paced arcade action of old.
So much to get here, Taz. I don't think they can allow that thought to enter their heads.
Hold on.
I think that if one of these superstars successfully executes their finishing move, this one is over.
Even though I've played this game for a few days now, trying to get as much footage for this review as possible, even trying out different match types and creating a few additional wrestlers, I still can never enjoy this combat system. Though I will admit, I've grown more used to Here Comes the Pain's combat now, just not to the point where I'm actually having fun with it is all. But one thing I do like about this game is we get cinematic finishers.
I think these superstars are putting on one hell of an exhibition here tonight, King. I can't wait to see what... What a match. I wonder if we'll ever see a rematch.
Remember bra and panty match from Here Comes the Pain? Yeah, it's back in a new form called Fulfill Your Fantasy. Yeah, these days it's called Rule 34.xxx for that stuff. Back then we only had Playboy magazines and whatever hentai bootlegs people were selling in a sketchy shop downtown. You young people today don't know how easy you have it in comparison.
Dude, you're such a grandpa.
Anyways, in this match you just beat each other with pillows, and it sucks.
Seeing a match like this makes me proud to be part of this company.
I'm with you, partner. You just can't experience a thrill like this anywhere else.
And that's cause you ain't gonna...
Building your meter to win the match. You can still strip and it helps you build your fantasy meter, and in the end, whoever has their full first is the winner. The match honestly sucks, and I do not see the appeal, even though I won.
Athletic match I've ever seen, but I'll tell you,
Here's your winner. I'd hope not, Taz, or I'd have to start wondering about you.
You worrying about me? That's a good one. You're a funny guy, but then again, looks aren't everything.
They removed backstage brawls last time to only resell them to us this time. Create the problem, sell the solution. Except they made backstage brawls so god awful, they might as well have never brought it back. 'Cause in reality, they never truly did.
That's so poetic.
All backstage brawls are now is single matches only, no interference, and are played in a tiny zero interactable area with a single weapon, and that's it. There's no appeal of these things anymore. No more brawling across the city and the SmackDown arena like in Shut Your Mouth. Oh no, now it's backstage, parking lot, and bar. That's it. And it all just fucking sucks. I wish they never brought it back. If this is all they were gonna do is just butcher a good match type like this. I miss the all-out brawls of several wrestlers duking it out, crashing into everything, getting tossed around the subway, smashing faces into the windows, cracking skulls on the pavement as cars honk their horns for us to get out of the fucking way. It's all gone.
Here's your winner, the Giant.
You're banned out of the ring for the rest of your life. Yeah, get this dude out of here.
Buried Alive match is finally a thing, yet it's not that fun, as the match is boring. Nothing really happens except Queso crushing Charlie's chest.
I think I've got a pretty good idea who's gonna win this match, Cole.
I wouldn't be so sure, Taz. If there's one thing we've seen, it's that anything can happen here in the WWE. Fist me, Dolores!
As you beat your opponent down, you need to bring the action towards the ramp and get up on the dirt pile. Once there, beat your opponent down and toss them into the coffin. Yet every time I tried, the game wouldn't let me. And in the end, I lost because of in this game, the AI cheats. You see, even when they have no stamina and are badly wounded, they get lightning fast reflexes and just dominate you every time you play. You can't win when they're like this, and the AI also never really recovers their stamina, and you'll be hearing the out of stamina sound effect forever. It's annoying.
I don't even know how he can still stand after taking so much physical abuse.
Exactly. I just don't like this match type because it doesn't work right and the AI cheats every fucking time. Fuck it, we're moving on to the other modes.
This is some classic old school wrestling here. picking your spots and waiting for your opportunities.
He's put his opponent in the casket. Could this be it? No way! And that's it. It's over. His fans. My God, what a match! You never know what you're going to see in a buried alive match.
Here's
That's
your
for sure,
winner.
Cole. Everybody pulls out all the stops in a match like that.
You can't afford not to, because if there's one thing you can be sure of, it's that your opponent will.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Hope they do more of that for this. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.
I'll never enjoy PPV mode. And even season mode sucks. They're just so boring and restrictive. One is just a 2D menu with nothing to do but set up a few matches, lame, and the other is trying to be a wrestling game's equivalent to a Call of Duty campaign, which is even more lame. So yeah, in season mode you gotta find out who committed vehicular hate crime against some guy I don't know.
Early.
Holla.
What was that?
And now my selected wrestler is running around accusing people trying to find out who did it. Lame, boring, stupid. I want to stop right here.
No one's accusing anyone of anything, Cena. But as long as you're here, where were you when Theodore Long was taken out?
Excuse me?
You get choices here and there by deciding who to fight in the ring. Snoresville.
This is all so awful. What do you think happened?
And then you fight them. Boring. And that's it for this mode. They're trying oh so hard to make a fucking epic grand scale cinematic masterpiece straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster, but failed miserably. They can't make season mode worth playing. So going forward, I will never cover this mode again in future reviews. I'll focus on the creation suite, combat, roster, and anything else they add, but season mode and PPV mode will be ignored. So let's move on to the very last mode in this game. You got GM mode now.
Yay! No, Chris, not yay.
In GM mode, you select your wrestlers and manage the show of SmackDown or Raw, and that's about it. You just interact with 2D menus and see who won and how much money you wasted / earned for the brand. Exactly, this is all the mode is, and it's boring. I have no interest in it. After a few weeks of shows, I just gave up because clearly there's nothing happening to keep me engaged. I'd rather make my own stories like in SVR 10 onwards till 2K14 where story designer was last seen. Too bad 2K will never bring it back in their newer games, because maybe then I'd buy them. I just want to create and have fun with my own creations. Why is that illegal nowadays?
Why, God, why?
You really gotta be the most boring person in the world to enjoy GM mode. It's literally just bureaucracy, manage things, look at text and numbers. It's lame, stupid, and a pointless addition to the game. If I wanted to be bored like this, I'd go buy and play those stupid hockey manager games on Steam. As such, this mode sucks, and I could live without it.
No shit.
Oh man, the loading and saving times are just getting worse and worse with each entry. I swear the PlayStation 2 must be really being pushed to its limits at this point. You got loading times up to a minute. It all depends on the match type, amount of wrestlers, who's wrestling, if it's a car or not, which arena are you fighting in, and whether or not the game woke up and chose violence. This right here is the shortest loading screen I've experienced so far out of several hours of playing this game.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did. You coward. You make me sick. Your weakness is pathetic.
What?
The locker room is where the shop and challenges are now located. It's a fancy interactive menu where you move around a room and select different things. Also, you can access certain features like stats, trophies, and more. The shop has been greatly downgraded. There's only a few legends here, and that's basically it. You got nothing else to really use your money on.
That sucks.
Challenges started to work in this version for me, thankfully, unlike in the last SVR game. But I have no interest in unlocking Andre the Giant or the British Bulldog. Plus, some legends you can't even buy. Oh no, you have to complete certain objectives in season mode or whatever just to get one or two of them. Just either let me buy everyone with enough cash, or just make them available at the start of the game without needing to unlock anything.
Makes sense to me.
Well, that marks another one done. Kind of disappointing since this game is the best selling of SmackDown vs. Raw. Yet what I experienced didn't justify its so-called greatness online. It's just a slightly improved version of SmackDown vs. Raw. Oh well, it is what it is. Sales do not equal the product is actually good. Let's wrap this thing up and get ready for another wrestling review soon.
Oh, shit!
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 is a mediocre game that borders on being average at times. The new match types are a mixed bag. The Here Comes the Pain combat system is still present, albeit slightly improved. The licensed music fucking sucks, as I'm not a fan of all this rap and hip hop crap. Where's the rock and metal at? Oh right, in the next few games we got the good stuff.
Yeah, boy.
GM mode was so boring, tacked on. Season mode sucked. PPV mode shouldn't even be a thing after I tried it out last time. What is the appeal of it? The load times and saving times being so long is just ridiculous. Backstage brawls are back, but downgraded highly and are only one-on-one in a tiny area.
Oh god, it just doesn't stop! Who is this guy?
Creating entrance is neat on paper, but what we got is so lackluster. Thankfully, later games fixed it. The roster is a complete utter joke. Having to own a PSP, PS2, 2 copies of SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 and a cable just to unlock a single wrestler is just fucking retarded. Create a championship is pointless and costs too much to do. And finally, create a stable is lacking in entrances.
Is that all?
Let's just hope that nostalgia isn't blinding me, as I remember 2007 very fondly on PSP. So let's see if the PS2 version will be just as good as I remember its handheld port, cause we really need some great games here. So far I've played too many mediocre WWF/WWE games, but only time will tell once we can finally get to WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, hopefully very soon. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
That's Mr. Savage.
How about the funky chicken?
Is that a waltz?
After not really enjoying WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, I had hoped to find my childhood wasn't a lie in 2007. Yet, all I got was yet another SmackDown 2 Know Your Role of an experience. My childhood was a lie. That game wasn't a good game, and 2007 isn't any better. There's a lot of reasons as to why, so let's get this one done with, in hopes whatever comes next won't just be yet another disappointment. Where the good wrestling games at?
The world may never know.
Create a Superstar has seen some improvements, yet also some downgrades. To begin with, we can now sculpt faces and bodies better than ever. We also have less freezing/stuttering during editing. In fact, while scrolling through all the very few assets this game comes with, you won't be stopping to load the next 3 assets in the tiny windows on your left. Nope. Now, it's just all there and loads pretty fast onto your wrestler for preview. What a nice change, but of course this brings me to a con. There's less content in this game than 2006 in terms of creation parts.
Oh boy, here we go.
So if you enjoyed certain shirts, pants, necklaces, masks, tattoos, or whatever, well, it's probably not even here in the game. But then again, it might be on Xbox 360 as I'm playing the PlayStation 2 version of these games, as all of them are on here, while the others were not. So I want to stay consistent with a platform to review this series on. Therefore PS2 it was. So who knows, maybe on 360 you got more stuff, because memory and next generation disk capacity or whatever tech nonsense you want to talk about it is. This isn't some ordinary gamers.
Okay, I've already gone. Okay, you get it?
We're just reviewing the game if it's fun to play with or not.
Hey, okay, we get the point.
Honestly, the fluidity of creating wrestlers is just a nice change of pace. Things feel more responsive as I navigate the UI to find what I want, or at least try to. Which brings me to another change-up. The coloring has been improved, for the most part. Certain assets don't like being recolored, such as the white t-shirt can't be turned to another color. It's just a pale version of whatever you wanted instead. So I couldn't give Mutahar a red shirt. Instead, he got a turtleneck red shirt, which looks so awful on him. Then again, a turtleneck on anyone looks god-awful. I couldn't give Asmongold his hairstyle. Certain hairs can no longer be made longer or even recolored. There's less hairstyles in general. I couldn't even make Derp properly. Derp is love. Derp is life. Without Derp, mankind is nothing. I had to make him look like the Slim Jim mascot from back in the day after we lost Randy Savage. For anyone who even remembers the Slim Jim mascot.
Who's that?
One last thing before we move on, I'm getting tired of having to remake everyone in each game, so I'll be cutting back who I make in future reviews till about SVR 2010, where I remember being able to create things better. So in the next 2 games, expect only 4 of these guys coming back, as 3 are templates for creation mode testing, and the other is the best thing I ever made.
And the opponent, from parts unknown, the Legend!
Create a moveset remains unchanged outside of one quality of life improvement. This being you can alter everyone's moveset before exiting to save. You no longer have to edit each person individually with saving in between each one. What a time saver, as I can now just get in there and get things done. Good job, Ukes. This is what I like to see. Less stopping and going and more just playing a game. But yeah, that's about it. Given nothing else is different, so let's move on to create an entrance, which has also seen some improvements.
Oh, really?
Create an entrance has been enhanced to allow actual real-time previews. The standard that we're used to is finally here. No more generic 2D menus with tons of loading screens in between each one, just to see an entrance we may or may not like. Nope, now it just fades for a brief few seconds and then we can see what each thing is. There's plenty of entrances, including generics that are just unnamed unique wrestler entrances for legal reasons. We got plenty of choices in that regard. However,
ah boy, here we go.
The music and audience is tied together. So if you disable music for, say, content creation wise, cause copyright is bullshit, well, the entrance will be silent till fireworks go off or the announcer says your name.
The following contest is a Money in the Bank ladder match. On the way to the ring, from Florida, the Ladies Man.
It's just a nice improvement overall outside of this gripe. So, good on you, Ukes. One step forward, a few steps back.
Kids, there's just no pleasing them.
Create a stable is untouched from last time. The only good thing is several entrances are properly named now. Though you can't use Degeneration X, cause fuck you, that's why. Gotta hate it when games do that. Take what you like and lock it behind a paywall, let alone progression system that's not worth progressing through. Why can't everything just be unlocked from the start? Let me have my ultimate wrestling sandbox, Ukes, you fuckers.
You need to shut the fuck up!
Once again, the roster is terrible. What makes things worse is we got some people back like Mark Henry, but then we also got several nobodies that no one outside of fanboys of WWE can remember. I'm completely flabbergasted as to what kind of roster this is. Why are they getting worse and worse?
I don't know.
What also sucks is most legends are once again hidden behind progression under season mode and whatnot. I have no interest in that crap mode after so many Snorefests in a row. So why can't I just buy them with the cash? Alright, you can't even get the cash from challenges anymore, but more on that later when we cover the locker room.
Can't wait.
So overall, the roster sucks. Last time it was 3 Hulk Hogans, this time it's 4 Mick Foleys. I like some of the roster though.
No, I don't believe that. That's bullshit. There's no way.
Batista, Booker T, Finlay, JBL, Mark Henry, Matt Hardy, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, The Boogeyman, The Great Khali, Undertaker, Big Show, Edge, some strange invisible guy, I think it's a glitch.
That's a good one.
Kane, Kurt Angle, who I always despised, Lita, Mick Foley, Mickey James, Ric Flair, Rob Van Dam, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Umaga.
Is that all?
But the rest I could care less for, let alone don't remember, and again, the Legends list is okay, but having to play a terrible mode like Season Mode just to get trophies and certain match types, to be able to buy them, isn't worth it. It never will be. Also, why the fuck is Shane McMahon in the list? He's not a legend, he's a fucking little prick.
You can feel it too!
They finally decided it was time to change the combat system to something somehow way worse than Here Comes the Pain 3.0 from the last game. Oh goody gumdrops, I absolutely hate this system. It's so god-awful. You ever wanted to break your face buttons from mashing them non-stop just to get up after getting knocked down, to only not get up for several minutes as your opponents beat you down some more? Or even go after others, let alone escape the steel cage? Yeah, this combat system fucking sucks.
He's not letting his opponent get away that easily. He made it to the top of the cage, just a little bit further.
You now only have one attack button via square. The rest is now tied to the right analog stick. Plus, you can also use R1 to combine it for even more attacks. Oh, and if you want to Irish whip anyone anymore, you gotta use R1 and X.
These superstars have been going hard all match. They sure have. And that's where the superb conditioning of the WWE superstars comes into play. No doubt, Cole. There ain't no way you're gonna win a match if you're out of...
The combat is just so clunky and unintuitive. You're just standing there, hoping to land a shot with these strange button combinations to only end up fucked up. More so than a cocaine-addicted bear going through withdrawals.
Running on fumes. I think these superstars are getting some feedback. Watch out! He reversed it.
Having to mash random buttons to get up, even though it won't actually speed up the process and will only damage your controller more. Having such strange button combinations to even pull off something so basic as an Irish whip, which used to just be a simple press of the circle button. Nothing about this new system is great. Even after a few hours of playing it, I'm still not enjoying it, nor can I get used to it.
A chair shot is a chair shot. And you can't take too many of those and expect to continue. He's not going to get caught with that one.
Though I will say, I get the idea, and if they can work it out in the next game, maybe it won't be so bad, because it's not like they're going to change the combat system all over again, right? Right?
Oh, he's a terrific role model, all right. Edge is a real humanitarian. A guy who would just as soon sell you out as look at you. What are you talking about, JR?
The lock-on system has become worse, as now it's a pain to retarget the nearest threat. This led to me getting attacked plenty of times. How can I counter someone or dodge someone if the lock-on system wants me to focus on another person outside of the ring far away from me, who's fighting another guy? I try pressing the usual buttons, but those don't work. It appears once again, buttons have been reassigned. Fuck me.
Wasn't around for them. I don't think that chick, like every chick you did with them, Michael, this ain't gonna be pretty.
Turns out they made the select button your target change.
Oh, okay.
Which doesn't always work, as I press it and my target is still someone I don't want, and that leads to me getting my ass kicked. What is going on here? Reversals for some reason have gotten worse in this game. Now you're even less likely to pull off a successful counter, so get ready to be beaten to a pulp whenever you play the game. At this point, they just need to remove it entirely or make it a single button that will actually work.
And there's the pin! That was like 2.5, Cole.
Oh, how lovely. They brought back the terrible stamina system that still drains like a 98-year-old chain smoker trying to compete in the Olympics. The only improvements that were made are now you can use circle instead of select to recover, and finally the AI will actually attempt to recover their stamina in this game, unlike in 2006. That's it. You can now fight in the crowd, yet no matter how hard I tried, this feature never worked. So I'll just say it's broken or a fucking lie and move on already. This game is terrible, and I just don't want to keep reviewing these games anymore. But I must finish what I started, just like the eventual completion of I review every sports game for the Atari 2600. Yeah, that's not coming along quite well either.
I'll tell you what, man, this one's just turned into a fight. Pure and simple. You're not going to last long if you keep getting hit by that.
There's only a single new match type available. Meanwhile, they removed several like Fulfill Your Fantasy, Backstage Brawl, 3 Stages of Hell, Slobber Knocker. Doesn't sound like a match type, it sounds like a certain hub freaking category. Hardcore, Tornado, 6-man tag, Table, Tornado, 6-man tag, Table, Triple Threat, Tornado tag, and more.
These superstars have been going hard all match. They sure have. And that's where the superb conditioning of the WWE superstars comes in.
But for the one new match type available, it's Money in the Bank. Yeah, I don't see the appeal. It's not like you actually get any of the money from this to use to unlock stuff in the shop. So why should I play this match? Exactly, I shouldn't. And I only played it once for this review. It sucks, it's boring, there's no appeal whatsoever. It's just another ladder match situation, but now you have a briefcase in place of the belt that you don't get to even keep. Lame.
It's a long fall for whoever loses this fight, Cole. This is not a fight that either superstar can afford to lose. Oh my God, he is just a couple of inches away of becoming Mr. Money in the Bank. Man, you just can't put...
And yep, that's all this game has to offer. You may be wondering, what about Season Mode, PPV Mode, and GM Mode? Well, I hate them, so I will never cover those modes again, unless they're vastly improved and worth actually talking about. Till then, this review is short because this game lacks content and value. I went in expecting something good and better than 2006, especially because I played this game for hundreds of hours on my Darth Vader PSP back in the day. Yet, what I got was a worse version of 2006. Don't get me wrong, I'm still not a huge fan of 2006, but that game just offers a lot more in comparison.
Oh, no shit.
You got more assets for cause, you got more match types, you got a slightly better combat system, as this one in 2007 is just too goddamn clunky to deal with. Sure, 2007 has returning favorite wrestlers and more entrances, plus better coloring options for cause, not to mention the stellar soundtrack. Oh man, the soundtrack takes me back to when I was still a kid, but those alone cannot justify this game's existence. Just play 2006 for now, and let's hope 2008 won't be another disappointment.
It's our only hope!
Oh god, the loading and saving is still bad. Why does it take 5 minutes just to boot up the game? Almost 2 minutes to autosave, almost 3 minutes to load into a match. This game is somehow worse at times with loading than previous games. Even those older SmackDown games weren't this atrocious. Were they?
Probably.
After this, we just got 4 more games to go. 2008 will be next, and I'm not exactly enthused to play it. Let's hope that in turn will make me actually like the game, because man, is there just too many mediocre wrestling games not worth really playing. Where the good games at? I haven't really played anything great yet, just painfully average at best. Oh well, it is what it is, right? After Dreamcast, PS1, Genesis, and now PS2, it's just mediocrity, 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 and painfully average. It is what it is.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. There it is.
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 is a mediocre game barely worth playing. I had high hopes and it didn't pay off. 2007 just doesn't offer much value in comparison to the last game. They removed several match types and the dozens of unique challenges to unlock stuff in favor of predetermined matches with only unique superstars to earn tiny amounts of cash. Yeah, no, I don't know a single person who plays these kinds of games just to play as John Cena the whole fucking time. Everyone just wants to create and goof around. And with modern WWE games, to download and share creations, making them get into all types of wacky shenanigans, like Bugs Bunny beating the crap out of AVGN.
Absolutely. Yep.
Anyways, 2007 isn't that good, but I'll recommend it as it's playable. Just gotta get used to the new combat system that makes 2006 look fluid in comparison. Hopefully 2008 won't disappoint. I remember people saying it was the best looking one graphically of all SmackDown vs. Raw games. So let's see if it's not just eye candy mediocrity. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later. Well, after the disappointment of WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, showcasing that nostalgia blinds many people, even those who don't like how I don't mindlessly praise the games because they're still blinded themselves.
If you can't accept that, go fuck yourself.
To which says a lot about how internet communities need purging with fanboys being kicked out of them. But enough based facts on gamers for now. We gotta talk about how WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 is just the same game as last time with nothing really going for it.
Well, who didn't see that coming?
Create a Superstar remains almost identical from last year. The only thing that's really changed is now you make your wrestler before you put in all their information. Outside of that, you got nothing improved when it comes to sculpting faces and bodies. But one improvement is we can finally have more assets to play with. Yep, all the removed content from 2006 makes returned in some caliber. Though not everything is back, but enough to help create wrestlers better, especially when it comes to things like hair. Sadly, I couldn't give Derp his iconic green spiky hair though. For some reason, Yuke's hates spiky hair, so the Slim Jim hair was reused. Otherwise, I got everyone a decent selection to make them look on par. So Charlie, Muda, and Zach were not that hard to make this time around.
Here's your winner, the Ladies Man.
Great job. They ruined create a moveset.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Now we can no longer assign unique wrestlers' movesets to our custom or anything. We can only use generics based on the fighting type chosen and create a wrestler. Wow. Just wow, how fucking stupid. So now every single custom wrestler plays the exact same, use the same exact moves, has the same exact finisher, and nothing will stand out at all in the ring. We share the same taunts as well. Who's the Riri that thought this was a good idea? Hope they're on the streets now. They deserve it for being so fucking stupid. Why? Why would you block people from using unique movesets? What does this do? What does someone hope to gain from this vast restriction? There's zero excuses here. This is just Yuke's trying to create a reason this game is somehow different from last year's. Fuck it, we're moving on. Let's hope they didn't fuck up create an entrance. Run! Create an entrance has thankfully not been changed at all. Except they did fix the audio issue from the last game. Now the crowd will make sounds even if you disable the copyrighted music.
You can be my plaything. I can be your toy.
And the opponent
Just because I'm skinny
from Texas,
I can't be your
the
toy.
Freak.
Boingy, 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 boingy.
So good on you, Ukes, for fixing something so minor. Yet that doesn't excuse all the problems this game has, and there's a lot of them.
Yep, get comfortable. I think we're gonna be here for a while.
Create a stable remains unchanged as well. Honestly, I don't know why I keep covering it if there's nothing special going on here. I'll say this though, thank God we can finally use Degeneration X. It will be the last time given 2010 got rid of it again, and 2009. So yeah, we have a lot of duo and trio entrances, mostly duo, so there's another pro. But otherwise, nothing else has changed, so we'll be moving on now to the combat.
Look at these superstars go. It's obvious that they've done. Now there's a superstar with guts. These top rope moves, though, are high risk.
The roster is still not great, but I did find it was somewhat doable. I mean, look at it. Despite the Nintendo DS and PSP having exclusive wrestlers, though I doubt anyone will cry over missing Hardcore Holly or whoever the fuck that was. But who decided to lock the legendary Sergeant Slaughter behind the PlayStation Portable?
Run for your life! What?
You don't do that. Sergeant Slaughter should have been available for everyone. That right there is a classic legend of the golden age of wrestling. Honestly, a major dick move on Yuke's end. And don't go telling me I can unlock him on PS2 by connecting the PSP to my PS2 and owning both versions of SVR 08. That was an excuse for Jake the Snake Roberts in the last game. It won't be acceptable here either for Sergeant Slaughter.
You're goddamn right.
So yeah, the roster. It still has some nobodies and people I would replace with the good wrestlers back from the day. But whatever. The weirdest thing is seeing Kane in SmackDown. I forget for a time he wasn't on Raw, where the big red machine belongs. It doesn't feel right seeing him here. Outside of that, my only real complaints lie in the Legends selection. Who are some of these guys? I mean, I know of Rick Rude because of Wang. Get rid of Sabu, Jim Neidhart, and Terry Funk in favor of Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan. Then we'll be talking. Too bad though. Like all of these games, we cannot use the Legends. We gotta work hard to unlock them, to buy them afterwards. More on that later in the other section, where we go over the shop as per usual. So let's move on to the combat itself finally.
Are trained professionals.
And even they don't walk away from every match in the best shape.
They sure don't. We've seen more than one superstar he might as well start walking back to the locker room.
If you didn't like SVR07's combat system like I did, well, SVR08 ain't going to be much more enjoyable. You will only suffer as this combat system just doesn't want to be good. But hey, they did get rid of the stamina system, or so I thought, till my wrestlers started falling over like a 128-year-old chain smoker. Turns out, they just hid the stamina system. Now, you can no longer tell how much you got. You just gotta attack once, walk away, wait, rinse and repeat, till you either win the match or lose it. Yep, it's one of those kind of games.
This has been a great match so far, but I think it's pretty obvious which way it's going.
But don't worry, they did do something to the combat. They made it more complicated. Now you got more inputs to deal with, like using the right analog stick to hold people in the lock or to escape. It's not good either, as I always end up losing my lock on them no matter what I do. And when it comes to escaping, I can never seem to find that sweet spot to escape and get severely damaged. It's amazing my wrestlers never tapped out on me during this. Plus, to even now do most moves, you gotta use more combos like R1 on the right analog stick, then you gotta move it while holding your opponent in various directions to do yet another attack. Why must the system be more convoluted than it already is? This game just makes me want to go play Shut Your Mouth instead. I want simplicity, fast-paced arcade action, and more importantly, fun. Something I cannot have with SVR08.
Be the smartest course of action. This is
just dumb.
Reversals. Oh lord, reversals. What can I say about them that I haven't said yet?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Yeah, exactly, but now in this game, I can say something new.
Oh, shit!
In WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, the AI loves to reverse all your attacks. I could barely land any hits on them, especially when facing unique wrestlers. Dear God, was I not having any fun.
If the WWE fans aren't happy, they'll let you know it.
Reversals are still a pain to nail. I just don't get it. I press the button and 9% of the time it won't register. But the AI can reverse all my attacks. It's just a pain. It makes this game even less fun to play.
Man, this one's turned into a fight, pure and simple.
We knew it was going to be intense. We knew it was going to be physical. But I don't think anyone was prepared for this.
Having to use these generic movesets now really sucks. Why is this the norm now? Alright, it's a selling point to this game. Now we can't use unique movesets as custom wrestlers. Oh, no. Now we have to use generic movesets like Brawler, High Flyer, Hardcore, and more. With a total of 8 to use. When you make your cause, you get to pick 2 movesets. But you can't use both anymore during combat. Nope. Now you can only use a single one. So you can't make a luchador brawler like in the older games. Now you can only be a luchador or a brawler when selecting your wrestler by moving left or right on the D-pad to select your moveset. Lame.
But wait! There's more!
I absolutely hate this gimmick as it restricts your own creative freedom. It's not excusable in the slightest, and Yuke should be ashamed of restricting players like this. Why even allow us to make custom wrestlers at this point? Why not just remove the system in the next game and add it back in the following year to proclaim Create a Wrestler as a new feature? I mean, that's what developers do these days with modern games in the 2020s. I'm shocked Yuke didn't pull one of those with this game either.
Talk about superstars who don't have an ounce of quit between them. You're looking at them right here.
There's only a single new match type in this game. Wow, how stupid. Not only that, but they put it in almost every other match type possible to pass it off as multiple new match types. But it's still the same exact thing in every single category. Basically, if they added a hardcore match type to the game and put it under every single category. That's what this is. It's dumb, and the new match isn't even that good. It's just hardcore match reskinned. There's nothing different about it. You're just using more weapons besides tables, ladders, and chairs. Big whoop.
I don't think that was ever meant to be used like that. Creativity has its advantages.
Seriously, what is the appeal of this match? Even as a hardcore fan, this isn't anything special and not something worth being the sole new match type to the game. Oh, and they removed even more stuff. Go figure.
Recover from physical abuse like that.
Anyways, if you just want something that doesn't really add anything just so you can feel like you didn't just waste your money on a reskin of last year's game, then this match is for you.
I'd say this matchup has lived up to expectations so far. What do you think, partner?
Yeah, it's off the chain for sure. I'll tell you that right now. I can't wait to see how it ends.
Oh!
You may think they removed Season Mode, but they didn't. Nope, it's just renamed to 24/7 mode. Yep, and it sucks because you have to play how the game wants, otherwise you won't progress. Yep, it's one of those fucking dog shit modes right there. I won my first fight, to only be told, nope, you did it wrong. Wow, maybe one, explain to me what I need to do before I fight, let alone, preferably two, go fuck yourself and let me play how I want to play, you motherfucker.
Hard to argue with that.
So I didn't get any money or experience from fighting, only injuries and fatigue. Wow, what a mentally retarded mode that only a mentally retarded person could design. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
Tournament mode is just PPV mode renamed. You just compete for a belt basically. It's nothing special. You choose the belt, you choose the opponents, you then play or simulate and see if someone can take away the championship belt. But not really, just like the last game with title matches. As that's all this really is. It's stupid, pointless, and very on par with the games in that regard. This shouldn't exist. It's just like PPV mode, GM mode, and season mode, and 24/7 mode. I wasted over 10 minutes on this crap for nothing. Wow, is there nothing good about this game? Basically not. So we'll move on to the other section now.
The action like this on Raw.
Even if you did, you'd have to hear about puppies and government mules and skulls.
The UI just keeps getting worse. Now it's too huge and takes up too much of the screen. They also hid your body damage indicator, plus the stamina system still exists, but it's invisible. So you're always guessing what you can and cannot do throughout the whole fucking match, till your character falls over and you have to mash those face buttons to not only not get up still. Why does this game have such bad combat? Who's the retard that thought this was a good combat system? They deserve a... Oh, and while we're on the topic of UI, why did they make the UI even worse than last year when it comes to menu navigation? Setting up a match is such a chore now. Even selecting wrestlers sucks because of the list is gone in favor of a single wrestler as you scroll through them. Why is the list only in Create a Stable? Also, why are your cars mixed into the unique wrestlers?
Wait, what?
They should be in their own section like before, as with every game till this point. But then at times, they're not mixed in with the uniques in alphabetical order, and instead are in their own section. Why is there such a mix-up? This is confusing and throws me off. Oh, and also, why did they get rid of the 3D models during the promo shoot before a match begins? Now it's just JPEGs, and your cars are just portraits over a generic silhouette. Wow, even more downgrades from last year. Man, they can't do nothing right.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
They still can't make the game load fast enough. Enjoy those 1-minute loading screens into a match and in between each entrance, folks. Yep, they're even worse now, which is funny since they upgraded the graphics, yet they couldn't have been bothered to improve the loading, nor saving times at all. Ugh, fuck my life. These garbage wrestling games will be my undoing.
Oh, it's true, it's true.
So yeah, graphics are better than ever. Too bad that's not enough to make the game good, because unlike Asmongold, I'm not a graphic whore. I expect games to play good. I don't see graphics as something great, but I'll count it as a pro because otherwise there wouldn't really be any pros in this review. Yeah, this game doesn't have much going for it, folks.
Very true.
Let's move on to the WWE shop next. The shop continues to be worse in every installment. What is even with this shit? Now, if you want to get anything, not only do you need too much money, that's difficult to get without challenges, and 24/7 mode is fucking dogshit season mode renamed. Oh, no. Now, if we want The Rock, we gotta play on the highest difficulty option and complete certain objectives in 24/7 mode as certain wrestlers. Same thing to get costumes for unique wrestlers and more. Oh, and if you want to use anyone's unique moveset, fuck you, you can't get them here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I'm out.
Oh, and to make things even worse, they removed challenges altogether now. I guess it just wasn't enough to ruin them in the last game by making them restrictive. Oh, no. Now, they just don't exist. Man, Yuke just keeps on fucking everything up.
I'm not surprised.
Well, that marks another mediocre game down. What is with this series? Where's the good games at? I've played WWF/WWE games on the Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, and PlayStation 2 now. Yet, like the Genesis and the rest, these PS2 games are just so meh. Whatever, we got 3 more to go now, and I'm even more pissed off than before. How much you want to bet 2009 will be also borderline crap?
I do.
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 is yet another mediocre game in the series, with barely any real improvement and tons of cons holding it back. Why am I not surprised at this rate? Oh well, it's to be expected. I'll go in expecting more crap for 2009 next. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
You can feel it too!
I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we'll make it tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight.
Well, I guess I might as well get into yet another wrestling game, as if this month wasn't full of them already. WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 was a complete joke, so having any expectations for 2009, I guess in turn allowed me to enjoy one of these games, because in SVR 09, we have improved combat, controls, and introduction of a classic match type, Inferno Match.
These men will fight for their life as they attempt to drag their opponent into that hellfire.
I was completely caught off guard by just how much fun I was having with WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 for the PlayStation 2.
I'm scared, people. Truly scared.
Sure, there's quite a few problems still holding this game back, but for the most part, I think we finally found a good WWE SmackDown vs. Raw game. Let's get into it. Starting off with Create a Superstar, they decided to change up how facial hair works. In turn, this means less options as well, so I couldn't give people proper facial hair. So, if, say I were to bring back Schlatt into this game, to which I didn't for everyone's safety, he would look even less like himself than in 2006. I mean, he has more complex facial hair than most other YouTubers / streamers I like to add into games after all. Anyways, that gripe aside, CAW mode is just fine.
Yep.
There's no real additional content on offer in this game, so Derp still doesn't have his proper hair, so I gave him a green mohawk for a bit before changing it back to the Slim Jim mascot looking one later on. Why does Yuke hate spiky hairstyles? Thankfully I could give everyone else their respective hair. Asmongold kept his pulled back receding hairline ponytail, of course. Bald.
Suck a fucking dick, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, there's no real improvements or additions to Create a Superstar. It's just more of the same, with tons of screen shaking / shimmering. More on that later. Honestly, would have loved to have seen more hairstyles, let alone shoes, as there's also less boots this time around. What a weird thing to call from the game.
You really are too picky.
Create a moveset returns to normal, as we can use unique movesets once more.
It's a miracle.
Nothing else has been changed or added to this mode, so we'll move on to Create an Entrance.
You can be my plaything. I can be your toy.
Nothing has been changed for Create an Entrance as well. No additional entrances, no improvements to the load times, nothing. It's just the same as usual, except one minor issue. Yep, they cut the audio altogether in this mode. If you disable the music, you won't have the fireworks announcer or even the crowd to make sounds. This is thankfully only in Create an Entrance, as in-game, the sound effects do come back. What a weird thing to do.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy.
The new creation mode introduced in SVR 09 is Create a Finisher, and it's so tacked on here, much like in SVR 06 had Create an Entrance. It's so basic, with no real reason for its existence. But whatever, you can make a simple finisher of up to 10 frames, change the speed and preview it, then you go to create a moveset to assign it to whoever you want to use it. Then in game, check it out.
He almost took his opponent's head off with that Larry.
Looks like he's going for it.
While in the creation suite, you'll notice stables are no longer here. Yep, they moved it yet again. Now it's under My WWE in the main menu alongside the options menu.
What?
So if you want to create stables, you now know where to look. And as for if anything's been else changed, not really. It's just more of the same, yet again in terms of what you can do. Just assign members to the stable, if it's a tag team or an alliance, so if they'll enter the ring together, or they'll enter separately, and then name it. Oh, and if you're wondering where the entrances are, well, they moved those as well.
Shit the fuck!
Yep. Once again, another pointless move to make this game different from the last one. So when you go to create an entrance, you can select single or team. That's where you can now assign stables their entrances for duo, and then separately you can select trio. Yeah, instead of just select them in the same menu like before, this game doesn't like convenience and wants you to suffer more menu navigation and of course loading screens that can take upwards of 30 plus seconds a pop.
Fuck that.
Oh, and to make matters worse, they removed several duo and trio entrance options for stables. Oh boy howdy, now you're stuck with even less options. Just what I want in the sequel, less shit. Fuck you, Ukes, fuck you.
Fuck you! I ain't having that shit!
On to the combat, starting with the updated roster. Now this roster is quite possibly one of the best ones so far. I recognize several people here. The only con is if you're on PS2 like I am, we're missing out on several wrestlers because this game introduced DLC. Only PS3 and 360 owners could get hold of anyone with the arrow icon on their portrait. That symbolizes DLC. But then again, I doubt anyone is going to care if they can't get hold of Super Crazy, Chris Haas, or Earthquake.
Who's that?
The only one I'd like to get is Doink. But I can always just make someone and create a superstar, like JonTron. Man, I missed that opportunity, huh?
So what? I'm funny now? I'm a funny guy just because I'm dressed like a clown? I suppose you think I shouldn't have a gun either!
Because of this roster, I got a good variety to build off of for my own cause, plus uniques to play with that I know of. If it's not 90s WWF, it has to be around 2008 to 2011 WWE for me to recognize most people. Those were the years I was more active watching wrestling. Anyways, onto the combat system, which remains mostly unchanged.
This is going to be big, one way or the other. I'm about to take my drawers He drops the elbow. I'm about to take my drawers off! And he takes him down with the toss.
Let me on it! You're about to make me really
Wait a second. What's he doing?
Fist me, Dolores!
Fatality.
Yet, they did do something. They finally fleshed out SVR 2007's combat system. Everything is more responsive, more smooth, running around, performing body slams, grapples, and even reversals are now better than ever before.
He's going in for the kill. Oh, leg drop connects. Where anything can turn into pandemonium in a heartbeat.
It's not the safest working environment, but it's definitely the most exciting.
I'm lost for words on how to describe this combat. 2007 has finally gotten what it should have had years ago. Everything is responsive, climbing in and out of the ring, using weapons, even finishers are a joy to use.
Flat out, tap out. You know, I don't care how bad you are. The fact of the matter is the human body is only capable of so much.
He's stalking his opponent from the top turnbuckle.
You die!
Casey wins. Fatality.
So yeah, reversals are now less of a pain. I mean, it's still a bit touchy, yet also it's less of a pain to pull off reversals. I love it. Things are just so much more fluid and fun. It took them 3 games, 3 years to finally make a combat system that's actually good. 2008, the stamina system was hidden. Now it's toggleable. You want it? Enable it under gameplay options. If not, don't worry. It's not a thing by default, and let me tell you, it's great to go back to more arcade, fast-paced action of old, but with smoother controls. 2009 has hit the nail perfectly. Good job, Yukes.
A flying form, sending the opponent crashing down to the ground. And he dropped the leg across his opponent.
No more falling over after a few moves with no status bar on what your stamina is. No longer is your body damage hidden. It will appear as you fight and get damaged. The UI is still a bit of a pain because of its layout, but that's a tiny gripe. You want a good controlling wrestling game on PS2? This is it.
A sharp kick, wearing down his opponent.
When you get slammed around, knocked around, and fall flat on your face, the button mashing marathon of 2007 and 2008 has finally been fixed. Now, when you mash buttons, it recovers faster, and then you press X a few times. You can even throw up a guard via L2 and R2. Now, when I get knocked down, I'm no longer dreading my controller's lifespan. Thank God.
I could watch these superstars go at it all night, JR.
The referee has called for the bell.
So, this means we no longer use those generic movesets from 2008.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
Cause now use everyone else's moves accordingly to what you set up and create a moveset. I'm so happy to finally have everyone back to their old selves. Well, minus poor Zach, who lost Scotty to Hottie a few games ago, so now he's based on Edge. Last time he was Rick Rude with his entrance at the least. Kinda miss making him go boingy 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 boingy. Oh well, the Attitude Era is long dead, folks.
This is a classic matchup, and there's the elimination.
The only problem I have with the combat is the camera when exiting the ring. I cannot comprehend what they were thinking. Why are we going Resident Evil Code Veronica up in here? I don't like the idea of fixed cameras and chase cams outside of the ring, following my wrestler around as my view is obscured. Plus, it's worse when you get several wrestlers fighting at once. I wish I could disable this, but if I do, I'll disable all cinematic cameras, including finishers and body slams, throwing your opponent into the fire and inferno match. I don't want that. I just want to get rid of the outside of the ring Resident Evil-esque camera. What a stupid change-up that makes me not want to leave the ring.
One! He's going for the pin! 1, 2, 3!
And a crippling.
And that's the match!
What happened?
The single new match type is Inferno match, and unlike previous single match types added, this one is actually loads of fun. Being restricted to the ring, surrounded by the flames of hell, having to slam your opponent into the mat several times just to get the temperature up to 500 degrees, and then drag your opponent to the edge, set him on fire, and toss him over the ring. This match was loads of fun.
He's on fire! He's on fire! My God! He's...
Here is your...
One of the several removed match types is hardcore. Yep, it's gone. Now you only have ECW Extreme Rules match, which is basically just hardcore, but with some tacky gimmicks of picking what weapon you want from underneath the ring. Yeah, no, fuck that. Where's your standard hardcore match? Bullshit, bring it back. What kind of wrestling game doesn't have a standard hardcore match? I'll tell you, a bad one.
Run for your life! What?
They also removed Tornado Tag matches. So you can no longer be in the ring together at once, nor can you have 3-man tornado tag, or even one of my favorite, triple threat tornado tag, where 3 teams of 2 fight for dominance. That's all gone in this game. I do not understand why they had to remove them. It makes 0 sense.
This game makes no sense.
I was so mad once I noticed this. Part of the fun is having several people fighting at once in these games, especially WWF SmackDown Just Bring It, where we had 8 people fighting at once. I just don't get this removal. Was it memory issues? Technical complications? Removed for the sake of removing something I like just to resell it to me next time, like backstage brawls, which they butchered? Whatever the answer is, it's bullshit. Road to WrestleMania is a new mode, and it's just a career mode where you play as a unique wrestler. I have 0 interest in this mode and will be skipping it. Counting this mode as a con, alongside tournament and career, as it's stuff I do not like. So let's move on to the other section. And that's it in terms of new things. This game is lackluster. As someone who hates playing as unique wrestlers when I rather play as my own creations, plus never liking careers in most games. I don't have much else to play with in this installment. Removing match types I like triple threat, tornado tag, and tornado tag matches altogether. Just help lead me to becoming more easily bored. Don't get me wrong, the combat is greatly improved, and so far is the best combat in WWE games that I've played and reviewed, and I've reviewed several.
You ain't lying.
SVR09's lack of substance, for me, just hurted its chances of being anything great. Let's hope that SVR10 will be better. Of course, it won't be a PlayStation 2 game without bad load times, especially one by Yuke's. As per usual, load times are over 30 seconds a pop per loading screen, and remember, there's usually 3 loading screens till you get into a match or mode. Yep, you got the usual loading screen with images, then you got the black loading screen with the SVR logo in the corner, and then finally a loading screen with tips before you can begin playing the match. And if you enable entrances, loading screens in between each entrance, and then before you can even get into the match. It all just adds up to over time. It makes the game less fun to play. If most of my playtime is waiting around doing nothing, why am I even playing a video game? Might as well loiter around a retirement home. More exciting things occur at a place like that than this game. A very annoying thing with this game is there's a lot of screen shaking / shimmering. I'm not sure if you can see it in the recording, but I could see it plain as day during gameplay. It's very annoying, especially when creating wrestlers. Not sure what it is and if there's a way to stop it. I noticed this on a few other PS2 games that came out late into the console's life, so I'm assuming it's just a console struggling to keep up. Given it was the weakest console of its generation, it survived into 2013, 2014, having one of the longest console lifespans of all time alongside the likes of the OG Game Boy. It's whatever, but I do hate it.
Okay, quit nagging.
Why is options hidden in the main menu? Alright, some graphics designer needed to justify their existence at the company still. What else is new? They also hid create a stable with options. My WWE is where it's all located now, and doesn't make any sense. It's just different for the sake of being different and not an improvement kind of different. That makes things worse. There's nothing worse than a pointless difference or a bad difference. There's no reason for this. I thought I wasn't going to be able to review this game at first because of the copyrighted music blaring most of the time. Till I found options under my WWE. I thought that was some kind of new mode akin to GM mode or PPV mode, so I didn't bother looking at it at first. I mean, what were they thinking?
What is your logic?
Well, That means we're down to 2 more games. One that I played like crazy on 360 and PS3 back in my teen years. And I also played on my channel making gameplay videos back in 2023 on PS2. So SVR 2010 is next, whenever I get to it. From what I remember, that game had a lot of stuff. So let's see if nostalgia isn't blinding me with that one like SVR 07.
Here we go again.
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 really surprised me. It finally fleshed out the combat, has a decent roster, and, well, that's about it. There's a lack of call assets I'd like to have, the screen shaking is annoying, the UI is still a pain, especially menu navigation, as not everything is placed where it should be because some graphics designer had to justify why they're still at the company, like all graphics designers, and why I'm in support of AI taking their jobs.
Based.
The soundtrack is terrible. The lack of new match types sucks. They removed some of my favorite matches over the last couple of games at this point. Road to WrestleMania shouldn't even be here. Career and tournament shouldn't also exist. They should be removed in favor of more disk space for match types, CAW assets, and wrestlers in general.
Marble agrees.
The camera is annoying outside of the ring. Why does it change like that? Especially when there's other wrestlers in the match. It's dumb and ruins the flow of the game. Sure, I can disable it probably under options, but that would also get rid of the other camera shots, like when you body slam people, pull off a finisher, throw someone into the fire in an Inferno match, and of course, shove the referee as a dirty fighter. So I don't want to disable the camera shots altogether, just outside of the ring one. Just makes no sense why it's even a thing.
True.
The long load times are inexcusable. I don't care if this is, well, into the 7th generation of console gaming. If you're making a version for the 6th generation, you better optimize it for said platform. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So having over 40-second loading screens is a major con to this game.
True that. Now that's too granted.
But outside of this, I did enjoy the fact the stamina isn't a thing by default. The combat feels good to play, though reversals can still be a pain here and there, and an Inferno match is fun to burn people with. Who doesn't want to set someone on fire?
I don't like where this is going.
I'm enthused again to play more wrestling games whenever I can finally get to WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 done. It'll be uploaded when it's ready. But, for now, I feel like this is a good place to stop reviewing wrestling games for a bit. All month long, all I've reviewed was wrestling, fishing, The Sims, sports games, budget games from Japan and Europe, and the worst Mario Kart clone.
Is that all?
So I feel like it's time to try some other games to keep my schedule from being too samey. Not sure what's next, but hey, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so I can keep growing and keep being motivated to keep going.
You're such a nag.
Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
He's going in for the kill. Oh, leg drop connects. Where anything can turn into pandemonium in a heartbeat.
It's not the safest working environment, but it's definitely the most exciting.
I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll play it on your face to make you go take it. me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted. So mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll bleed on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you gon' wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
I think it's time to get back to the grind. We'll be looking at yet another WWE game I grew up with. After SmackDown 2 Know Your Role and SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 showcased, nostalgia blinded me twice in a row. I figured it was time to see if that's true with yet another childhood wrestling game. This time, it is WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010.
Oh, no shit.
Which I remember quite fondly when it comes to the combat roster, match types, and of course Creation Suite, especially given its introduction of Story Designer, one of my favorite things in WWE games back then. But I also remember it had vast restrictions I hated. So let's get this one over with and see if WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 for the PS2 is worth playing or not. Once I dived into Create a Superstar, I was surprised to see there wasn't really anything added. It's just the same thing as last time.
Oh, this sucks.
I remembered there being more to it than this, but maybe that was the PS3/360 version that has more content to play with. Who knows? Anyways, I was still having fun making everyone. Though I didn't bring back everyone, I did bring back a few. We got Charlie, Muda, Zach, Dirt, myself, Schlatt, Queso, Maximilian, Joe, and AVGN. Though some were harder to make than others, I mean there wasn't really much to work with to make AVGN correctly, for example. But it is whatever, I still had some decent fun making people in here, despite the lack of options and new stuff to play with. I also gave Derp his Slim Jim hair because, once again, there's no spiky hairstyles for him like in the older games. Sorry Derp, but those more wacky caws of old are no longer possible in these modern games for some stupid reason.
Why?
I'm about done with this mode anyways. So let's go over Create a Moveset, which has seen some change. But not for the better.
Who did it? Why'd they do it? Are they still alive? Can I find them? We're gonna go find them.
Create a Moveset remains unchanged as well, outside of a minor issue that doesn't need to be a thing, but sadly here we are. They made it where you can only edit one wrestler at a time in between saves. Yep, we're going back to 2000 instead of 2009. Why? Why make this change? Why make it where I cannot just edit everyone then save and exit? But no, now we have to edit one, save, edit another, save. It piles up with this fucking stupid bullshit stop and go crap. We were cruising down the highway last time, now we're taking the back roads because of some dumbass couldn't program things right.
Oh God. I mean, does it though? For sure? You sure about that? It means that?
When it comes to Create a Finisher, we get some new additions to making them, plus the ability to make diving finishers as well. This is great, as I have more stuff to play with. I'm all for this mode now. I enjoyed making wacky attacks for my cause, going ham by destroying a man's ballsack and then breaking their spine in half, or even spinning in the air like a monkey on PCP.
I'm on crack and even I think that's whack! Anyways, empty your pockets. Right now, everything. Yeah, I'm serious.
I highly recommend you play with this one now. It's actually worth your time here. I'll show off the moves when we talk about the combat after the Creation Suite, but for now we gotta cover Creating an Entrance. Creating an Entrance hasn't been touched up at all. It's still the same exact thing as the last few games, so that's a good or bad thing depending on your perspective. for me it's just fine. I'd rather have them not mess with it if they won't make things better in some way. I did enjoy the sheer amount of entrances though. Having several legends hidden under the generic names was nice. Though I did hate how the crowd sound and stuff was tied to the music. If I disable the music, I get silence during this. But in the game, everything is back to normal, again. But otherwise, that's about all I can say about this feature. So let's move on to create a stable. Creating stables is the same as last time. Under my WWE, you can create a stable. Okay, I give up on having things moved around, so whatever. There's nothing changed here from 2009, so make your stables and then go into create an entrance and select team to make your duo and trio entrances for your stables. At least when it comes to stable entrances, we got a lot of duo, but barely anything for trio. What else is new? Also, only duo and trio are still supported, even though your stables can have several people within them. But whatever. At least we got some neat entrances like Brothers of Destruction, and then the one I gave Schlatt and Zach.
And the opponents, the Rocker and the Dog.
At least in terms of Creation Suite new stuff, we got rivals now. Yep, you can now set up allies and enemies with varying degrees as to just how much you hate and like each other.
Just take all my money! Oh, not this soon! Not this soon! Ah!
So you can now make your cause or even unique wrestlers have their own set of friends and foes, which will help determine who will interfere in matches that allow interference. So if you're losing, whoever's top of the friend list will be sure to jump in and aid you. Meanwhile, if you're dominating, your worst enemy is most likely to make your day a living hell.
Look at me. Do I look crazy to you?
Oh, what an elbow!
Starting out with the roster, it's pretty good. Though kind of small once you notice the lack of legends. Yeah, this game's shortcoming for its roster is entirely in the legends, or their lack of. We only have a select few that most people can live without, including myself. The only ones I'd keep are The Rock and Stone Cold, but Stone Cold himself was a pre-order bonus DLC for PS3 and 360 owners only.
And they pushed him out. They got him out.
You done fucked it up.
PS2 owners got shafted once again. Why not just make him an unlockable or a cheat code then for the PS2 users? What a stupid decision. Everyone should get to have Stone Cold tell them because Stone Cold said so. Aw, man.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
I had plenty of options for my cause to be based on and uniques to play with. Overall, a decent roster with nothing really bad about it minus the legends, so let's move on to the combat itself finally.
Hard right hand.
There goes Jericho.
SVR09 fleshed out the combat and made things so much fun, yet in this game nothing has changed as you still do the same attack combos using the same exact buttons basically. I didn't need a refresher or to look up for a manual online or anything of the sort. This game is just 2009 2.0. Now that's not a bad thing. In fact, 2009 was the best combat-wise up to this point. This game just doesn't try to add onto it or make things even more fluid is all.
We might be seeing the beginning of the end.
Run me on the game! Run me on it! Fist me, Dolores!
And Omega nails it. The match is over. That's all she wrote.
One major issue I have with this game is compared to past games. The AI is too passive, like they'll just stand there most of the time as I completely dominated them. Rarely ever would they fight back.
Another shot with the boot.
Even when I hosted matches with just the AI to see how they'd play it, it was no different. I just cannot understand this change-up. Was it because the console CPU couldn't process the AI that well anymore, so they had to scale it back? Akin to Dynasty Warriors losing its aggressive AI from Dynasty Warriors 3 and 4?
Personified in this one. Anything and everything will happen.
Either way, only once in a full moon did the AI actually fight back, and that was a breath of fresh air. I just wish, given I play these games on normal difficulty, would actually fight back. But whatever, I'd recommend you play on a higher difficulty in the hopes that they might be more aggressive.
Got planned with that steel chair. A hard right hand. And the lumber's back in the match.
One change that I'm actually completely happy with is the removal of the UI. At least for the most part. I mean, you're seeing it right there on screen right now. It's just now your finisher gauge that's visible underneath you. You're no longer given an on-screen HUD like before. This really helps when you have 6 people in the match at once. Now we can see everything more clearly. It's just a great change-up. Now if you want to know how well you're doing, just look at your wrestler and how they move around. It's not a terrible change, and I'd rather have it like this than in 2009 any day.
Bye-bye, Samurai! That'll do some damage.
Finishers are still the same as well, but I did have fun making some, since there's more options now for ground finishers and the introduction of diving finishers. It's fun making wacky attacks straight out of a cartoon or anime.
This is it! Here he goes! The physicality. He can barely stand, but he still moves on. All good things must come to an end. But I wish that match could have gone on a little longer.
I was given a few custom finishers to some of my cause just to spice up the combat more. Of course, you know what that means, right? Hey Queso, Asmongold wants Dolores.
He's looking to do some serious damage right here.
And this one's been phenomenal. What? The atmosphere is tremendous.
As for new match types, we only have 2 with a few additional backstage brawls. Yay?
Yay! No, Chris, not yay.
Well, the backstage brawls are still soulless with no real sound effects or anything of the sort. You have very little space to fight in, no ability to move around to different locations either unlike in Shut Your Mouth. You only have the backstage, a green screen, and an office. It's boring and god-awful. I don't know how many times I smashed Queso's skull into the floor of the office room just to finally win the match. These things take forever, and with the AI so passive, things are just not that engaging at all. Plus, we're still limited to 2 people only fights. Divas are now allowed in another match type. Yep, they finally gave some love to the ladies, except it fucking sucks. It's just tag team match where men and women team up in teams of 2.
Crisp elbow drop.
You gotta tag in your partner according to the gender of the enemy, so if I'm playing as a dude, I gotta tag in my diva partner if the other dude tagged in his. Lame. I just want to fight, not be restricted, And no, you can't knock out the ref and then beat the shit out of the woman. This game is very white knight simp, who's also a physician. You'll get a disqualification if you try this. Fuck that, let me beat the shit out of a woman. Equal rights, equal lefts, together we're united in our love of fighting.
What's he doing?
Look at the power, the velocity, the impact. 1, 2, 3. They did it. Wow, what a match.
Here are your winners, the Monster and Mickey James.
Momentum is so important.
The last new match type is Championship Scramble. Instead of a typical title match, now you have several people competing for the belt. Whoever is the current champ must fight several other people at once within a time limit. If they survive, they keep the title. But if someone can tap them out or pin them or whatever, then they lose their title.
School's in session, boys and girls. It's the professor.
At first I thought, this sounds okay, so let's give it a try. Well, it turns out to be a rather boring mode, as everyone is competing to pin the champ within a short amount of time, so everyone is interrupting each other's pin and fighting each other and the champ.
Oh no! Here it comes!
It's just not that much fun, rather just irritating to play, much like a ladder match in this game, because every time I try to climb the ladder, it makes my character pick up the ladder instead. But when I want to pick it up, it makes me climb the ladder. Even though I'm positioned right, it won't register correctly. It's as if they programmed things backwards, which wouldn't have surprised me. But in the end, Championship Scramble is a terrible match type of its own, just like Mixed Tag Match.
He calls his partner over, and they're looking to go to work on the opponent.
Good luck walking after that one.
Well, as for story designer, the new huge deal for this entry, well, it's not as good as I remember.
Ah boy, here we go.
You're vastly restricted on what you can even do. The lack of voices, sounds, and more really makes things all the more soulless. You can only have a select few scenes and matches in each story depending on how many wrestlers you use, and if it's a call or unique. You can't pause, rewind, or fast forward through scenes to see each segment to edit and test things out either. After 30 minutes of screwing around, I just gave up. Let me explain in more detail.
Explain yourself.
Of course, you're also limited to 2 stories total.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can only save 2 stories. And no, you cannot delete the pre-made ones that eat up the list. So you have a limited amount of scenes, wrestlers, and whatnot you can use in each of your 2 stories. So good luck making something with that, with such a vast restriction.
Can't I just have a break? Can't I just have one break?
Sadly, this mode is held back by the sheer amount of loading screens. Just lots of fade to black with crowd sound effects to keep your attention as it loads through whatever you choose. Every time you pick a scene, pick a character, alter anything within the scene, and it loops without your ability to pause, fast forward, or rewind. So you're just waiting forever for the scene to load and progress so you can to where your last edit was to see how it turned out. And if you need to add anything, all of this just adds up to boredom. Maybe it's less bad flow times on PS3 and 360, but for the PS2, it's about as long as a normal loading screen to navigate modes and matches.
Not so good, huh? Not so good.
What little you can make, however, is another problem. I wasn't able to really create an interconnected story with my cause. You have scenes that feel like they just don't belong or can't be used for an ongoing plot, but a one-time encounter that may be used for a joke you post online or something, you know? It's just sad what little I have to work with here. I struggled to make something, namely because of the restrictions. load times, and lackluster scenes. But this brings me to another problem that will turn many people away. You have to use a controller to type up text. When you're just naming your cause, this is nothing. But now that you have to type in actual sentences, this leads to time-consuming typing. With a PS2 controller,
it's awful.
Each line of text can take a few minutes to type, as you have to space, backspace, shift the text upper and lowercase and whatnot. It's just not that fun to deal with. Now, if this game was on PC, I'd not have any problem with this portion of Story Designer. I mean, we could just type it up in a matter of seconds via keyboard, but no. Honestly, after a while, I just gave up. This mode is so flawed, yet the potential was there. I like Story Designer and concept, but man, does it get held back by a lack of audio options, lack of voices, tons of loading screens, a lack of scenes to use, restrictions on who can appear in each scene, and of course, to type text with a freaking controller. Oh god, does it just add up to a not so much fun time. So, here's what I made within those 30 minutes I spent in Story Designer. Get the popcorn.
This is so exciting!
I need a medic bag! I'm dying! Somebody drop a medic bag! Oh, damn! You're dying! I'm about to take my drawers off! I'm about to take my drawers off!
I have seen the amateur and it is you. I have seen the amateur and it is you.
She called the cops! She called the cops! And this is what they fucking did to her!
Here we go in this tornado tag match, and that means all four competitors are legal at all times.
Just listen to his body crash into the ground. Can't breathe. Break. That one got him. Uh-oh. The Rocker's in some big trouble. This could be huge.
That should do it right there. He breaks up the pin, and the match continues.
Grizzly. Hardcore icon got it. One, two, three. The hardcore icon wins.
That's it?
Once again, bad load times galore. What is up with this? Roughly 35 to 58 seconds a pop depending on what you're doing. Plus to load into a match is well over a minute. This really held the game back for me. I just want to play, but instead I feel like I'm at the doctor's office, waiting for them to stop popping pills and check my prostate, to only end up with a porcupine shoved up my arse instead. Hell, at least that would be much more pleasant than this game's constantly overly long loading screens.
Couldn't have said that better myself.
They still haven't brought back 6-man tornado tag or even triple threat.
Damn it!
Why? Why remove those modes? We can have normal 3-man tag teams, but not at the same time? Also, why can't we have more than 2 people fighting backstage still, basically? Where's the all-out brawls of old at? Alright, back in WWE SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. That sucks. I shouldn't have to play an extremely old game just to experience fun like that. SVR 10 can clearly handle several people in the ring at once, so there's zero excuse for this removal.
Orbo agrees.
I refuse to touch Road to WrestleMania as it's just campaign mode / career mode / 24/7 mode / PPV mode / tournament mode / who gives a flying fuck mode. Remove this crap and re-add triple threat and more. Could have used that disk space for better things, including more legends. Overall, there's a lack of content to really enjoy here. It's just more of the same as the new modes all but suck. I ran out of things to do pretty quickly, almost even more so than when I played and reviewed SVR 09 a while ago. So be warned, unless you only play a WWE game here and there, you won't have much value in this game and the money you wasted on it.
Oh, majestic!
Well, this means our journey of reviewing every WWE SmackDown vs. Raw game is almost at an end, with only one game left to go. I'll get to WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 whenever I can. I just hope it brings in more legends and match types to justify its existence. So far, most of these games were mediocre and barely worth my time. Only a select few were anything painfully average, let alone borderline. Time to wrap things up.
Everyone at home? Are you sitting? I mean, probably weird if you were standing watching this. I mean, what do you got some sort of standing desk? Think you're better than me, don't you?
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 isn't as great as I remembered. It's just the same game as 2009, except with some slight alterations. Story designer was so tacked on here and isn't anything special. I like the idea, but it needs more work. Combat remains basically unchanged, and it's just simple fast-paced arcade fun. The load times are horrendous, the UI is all but gone during combat, to which I kind of like. Yet when it comes to UI navigation, namely with the wrestler list, it's just terrible. Where's a normal list of everything? Why are we selecting one at a time without being able to know who's next? Create a Superstar doesn't really have anything added, especially assets. I just wanted more hair options at the very least. The soundtrack is great. Too bad I had to disable it because of YouTube. If you just want SVR 09 but with a single new match and nothing really else changed, this is for you, as I just couldn't believe yet again nostalgia blinded me. Truly, nostalgia.
It's a hell of a drug.
But it's still fun and I can easily recommend the game. I just wish we had more legends to play with. I hate how Stone Cold is exclusive to pre-orders for PS3 and 360 owners. I'm not a fan of mixed tag team, and I'm also as I'm not allowed to beat up the women. I miss the older games where we can choke slam women in the ring. Equal rights, equal lefts.
Based.
Honestly, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 for the PS2 is just an average fun little game, and I can recommend it. I'll get to SVR 11 soon. Till then, anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase the bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. The venom in my brain, running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many once that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't.
After WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 proved once again nostalgia blinded me, I decided to just get 2011 over with. And let me just say this, SmackDown vs. Raw went out like a bitch.
Oh, no one likes me. My dog won't even look at me. My dog took a shit on the floor because they were so disgusted with me. God, no one's ever gonna love me. Except maybe you. Can you show me your titties?
I'll take one more last look around this beautiful world before saying my goodbyes to it. Damn you!
No, not now! No, there's a wasp!
What the fuck? For the last of this long-running series since 2004, SVR's 6-year-long run came to an end with a game that has nothing to add, yet is missing a lot of stuff. It comes with a roster and technical problems that gave me an aneurysm. Let's just get this over with. I'm tired of these games, just like fishing.
I think he's through play. Oh, the hardcore icon.
Create a Superstar has seen more downgrades. You have less assets to play with than ever before. So, when you try to create a wrestler, good luck. Whether you want hairs, boots, underwear, tattoos, bodies, accessories, you name it. There's barely any of it left. They pretty much removed a lot of it. As such, I couldn't give everyone their proper outfits basically. I had to make some slight alterations. Derp had to use a less revealing underwear.
Shit the fuck!
There's less facial hair options as well. How? So I just made Charlie, Muda, Zach, and Derp. That was it. So no Queso, Schlatt, Angry Joe, JD, you name it. I hate this entry's calm mode.
Now that really pisses me off to no end.
Just know you won't have that much to work with in this entry. Maybe PS3/360 owners have more stuff and it's just a limitation of the PS2 version. Whatever the case, I just hate how I just hate how I would have to cut many parts from my cause if I wanted to bring everyone back to only make them look worse than ever before. At this rate, I'll just go play WWF Attitude where my cause looked more accurate to their real-world counterparts.
Mr. Showtime is exactly that! I'm so excited for this match, I passed up 3 fire hydrants on the way! I've been saving it for you, baby!
Create a moveset is still the same as 2010, so expect to edit one at a time with tons of saving screens in between each edit. I hate this, it's just a dumb design decision. Why did it need to change out of nowhere? So yeah, just the same old, nothing new to talk about. So what about created entrance? Surely there's something there to talk about, right? Right, create an entrance remains the same. The only new things is the ability to choose your 2 title entrants from a tiny list of options. So now you can enter the ring with 2 belts instead of just 1 if you're a multi-title champ. Not a bad idea, but as is, You won't have much variety for what little cause you do end up creating, so samey entrances galore will become the norm in that regard. But as for normal entrance options, it's all the same stuff really, no complaints in that regard.
No, I don't believe that. That's bullshit. There's no way.
Create a Finisher has seen yet another new addition. This time you can make corner finishers on the top ropes, which is neat and all, but I never ended up using the finisher because of this game's boring nature. But more on that later. The only other thing is you cannot name your finishers. You must use a pre-made one from a limited list. Yeah, okay, Ukes, I give up here. Let's move on to create a stable. Create a stable, once again, is the same old. Except, now you can go directly to create an entrance to alter your stable's entrance. Okay, one less menu navigation. As for options in that regard, we have less options for duos this time. Oh man, this game just keeps removing stuff, huh? Whatever, let's move on to the combat, starting off with the roster.
It can't get worse, right? It can and it will, and here it is.
The roster. Oh dear lord, this one is even worse than 2010. I'm honestly shocked they just didn't get rid of everyone and just made you make all your own wrestlers only to fill out the roster instead. Who are some of these people? There's a lot of nobodies now. Plus several are DLC only, meaning PS2 owners are shafted once more. Oh, and you can no longer get hold of several since the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live are all but gone for the 7th generation consoles. So, do what you need to do to get hold of it. Wink, wink.
The half-man, half-gorilla speaks the truth.
We lost many people from last time, and I wasn't able to bring everyone back because of the lackluster roster. Plus, the legends are not really that good, nor do I want to spend all day trying to unlock them via Road to WrestleMania, doing specific objectives, just like in SVR 10. Remember when wrestling games just gave you everything? I let you just have fun? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Are you crying?
Yes, I'm crying. He hit me with a chair.
The combat basically remains untouched, with only small alterations like now to pin, you must use the circle button, which was used for grabbing Irish whips and whatnot before. You also no longer press X to get up. Now your wrestler will get up on their own at random. You no longer have a say in this. That's stupid.
So King, are you ready for that big main event later tonight?
This entry supposedly has improved weapon physics. Now tables, ladders, and chairs and more all react more realistically. That's all this game really brings to the table. As for objects, they still are the same as last time. I did not notice any improvements to the way they act during any matches with weapons. Lame.
Also, I've got some bikinis to try on after I finish the shower, so I hope you guys are excited for that.
SVR 10 had AI that didn't really put up much of a fight. Well, that still remains true here in SVR 11. I barely had any challenge when fighting AI in this game, whether it was one-on-one or multiple wrestlers at once. No matter the location, match, wrestler, it was always rather easy. Only once in a while did they actually put up a fight. Those moments I do get taken by surprise because for so long they just didn't do anything. Again, play on something higher than normal. Maybe things are better then.
Going for it! Up the cage again. Will it work this time?
Now, if you want to get someone out of the ring during Battle Royale or Royal Rumble, you need to mash quick time events. Yep, they decided to change things up once more. This time, you have to play Simon Says with the face buttons. Mash whichever is highlighted. If you do it well enough, you'll be rewarded with eliminating your opponent. If you screw up just once, they'll get back into the ring. Absolutely fucking hate this stupid system. It's such fucking bullshit. We don't need this type of thing in the game. It just makes things even worse than it already was. It was perfectly fine before. This makes 0 sense to be in here. Fuck off.
Skull King, the hardcore icon wins.
No matter what you do, you'll always be forced into WWE Universe mode. Just want to play a match via play? Too bad, bitch. You gotta use WWE Universe, where all your stats, history, and achievements are stored. So whoever wins a Royal Rumble will be in the news section of this mode. All of your previous matches and whatnot will be stored here as well. Alongside pre-made ones, you'll be told you have to play next. I hate this concept. Don't force people to play a shit mode like this. It's just a glorified PPV mode / GM mode, and I hate it. I never had fun dealing with this thing.
Not even once.
They did not add any new match types to the game. It's just 2010 with nothing altered at all. So what is the point of this entry? No new match types, a terrible roster, slightly altered combat for the worse. What is the appeal here? The so-called match creator is just match rules where you set up the rules and then fight. It's stupid, tacked on, lame, and pointless. Very on par with the series.
Man, poetry's powerful stuff.
They did not bring back all the tornado tag variants of the past, nor any other cut mode like buried alive match, coffin match, or bra and panty match. So no triple tornado tag or triple threat tornado tag with 3 teams of 2 duking it out. I guess the shitty engine just can't handle the idea of motherfucking fun.
With the Dez press. Look at him unloading with the Dez press. Watch out here. It's going for it.
As for story designer, it remains unchanged as nothing has really moved around or improved. If you were hoping they'd improve this mode akin to Create an Entrance was, well, you're sadly mistaken like I was. The non-stop looping crowd sound, tons of fade to black loading screens, and nothing else really happening as you try to figure out what scene is what and what you could do with them.
Stop being boring.
Is boring. And also still vastly restricted. You can't really do gay jokes by replacing divas with male superstars. Let me make Charlie give flowers to Mudahar and promise sweet passionate hardcore butt sex later on, goddammit.
I have several questions.
You can be my plaything. I can be your toy.
I need a medic. I need a medic. I need a medic bag. I'm dying.
On top of not being really improved or altered in any way, story designer comes a few new scenes and that's about it. It was fun for a few minutes seeing what I could do, but that fun ended faster than your grandpa enjoying a private dance for his 120th birthday party.
So tonight I'm on top. Okay, sweet buns.
No, I'm tired of always being on the bottom. I want to be on top for once.
Oh, come on, sweet buns. Don't be like that. Sweet buns.
Sadly, the entire mode has technical problems holding it back. If you're not careful, depending on how fast you move around the UI and make selections, plus what the scene is and who's in it, the entire game will crap out. I don't know if this is just a PS2 exclusive feature or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if 360 and PS3 owners were shafted like this as well. Honestly, after trying to get a few scenes for this review, I just gave up. It's the same thing as before with a few new scenes and nothing else. It's still limited to 2 stories and only a few scenes / matches. There's still too many loading screens that take forever and nothing you can really do editing wise to make anything engaging or fun. It's still a tacked on mode. Anyways, enjoy this next scene. And let's move on to the other section already. This review is giving me a ball cramp. As per usual, long load times galore is still a thing. You'd think by now they'd learn to optimize these games, but nope, it's still 30 seconds to a few minutes give or take with the various factors at play. I cannot stand this shit anymore. I'm tired of non-stop loading screens, especially the long ones in these wrestling games. This is inexcusable.
Absolutely.
You can be my plaything.
Yep.
I can be your toy. Just because I'm skinny, I can't be your sick boy.
Road to WrestleMania is still a thing, but has less options than last time. I have no interest in playing as uniques and playing through some Call of Duty-esque campaign with WWE characters. Fuck that. Moving on.
Yeah, he's right.
The new mode is called WWE Universe, and it's just PPV mode / GM mode with a new skin, and sadly you're forced to use it all of the time. Every time you play a match, you gotta use it and save your data, even though cause no longer get any experience points from playing the game. You get nothing for progression. WWE Universe is just where you set up matches and that's it. It's stupid, it's boring, it's a clunky mess to navigate. I hate it. Moving on.
Yep.
Well, that does it. That was the very last SmackDown vs. Raw game. I went in expecting great things and each one just came with so many flaws. Some were better than others, sure, but most were just mediocre wrestling games that haven't aged well, nor were ever good in the first place. From lackluster match types to rosters, the combat system sucking, or even having a lackluster create a superstar system. Honestly, out of all 7 games, I'd say avoid 2011, the original, 07, and 08. Those were the worst offenders. I'll put everything into a ranking when the compilation is ready at the end of the year. Anyways, let's wrap this shit up.
Man, this sucks. It's just like, I don't even know what to say.
At the end of the day, WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2011 was a massive disappointment. It's a garbage game that borderlines on mediocrity at times, but it's held back by so many problems, just oh so many problems, especially technical problems. And also the roster, to the creation suite, and story designer. It's just nothing special, and the fact this was the very last SVR game is just pathetic. The series didn't go out with a bang. No, much like Mass Effect, it went out like a fucking bitch. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.